All right, everybody, welcome back. Well, today we're testing out this ever popular Predator 3500 watt generator. We're going to be using this guy to verify to see if it's actually accurate on that meter as opposed to our meter here, and to see if we're getting everything out of it that it states. So this guy here is going to show us our wattage, our amperage, and our voltage at the same time. We'll do a little bit of math at the end to kind of verify that. And then we're also going to check out its empty weight. It will have oil in it, and we're going to check out its sound. And then we'll also see how much power we can really suck out of this thing before it goes in lit mode, and just kind of go from there. So we'll throw up the specs on the board, tell you a little bit of history about it as well, and kind of go from there. All right, let's get started. Okay, we're going to first start off by looking at the specs. This generator runs at basically 25 amps at 3,000 running watts and 3,500 max. That's for starting, and a 212 cc motor, basically running 87 octane. It holds a little over 2.5 gallons of gas at 57 dBs. And basically this generator comes from China, and it comes from this company called Lonson. And you can see this is actually what it looks like when it comes from their company. They have a big company out there in Chongqing, and that's where a lot of these companies are that actually manufacture these things. And I don't promote them in any way. I'm just giving you a little history, but you can see those are probably all Honda clone engines there. So we'll take a look at the faceplate real quick, and these are our parallel outlets there with a grounding bolt underneath, and that's kind of like your 30 amp service plug. And that one there is basically for like a travel trailer with a 30 amp service, and you can see the little reset buttons right next to it. 120 volt service plugs there. You have this DC plug there, which it's not very common. I prefer the socket instead, and that's just the reset button for that. LCD display with basically your indicator lights. Eco throttle position switch there, and then you got your electric start there. This switch here will take it over to the start position, then you put it in run after the choke, and if you want to turn on and see the hours, there you go. All right, the battery is back behind this little door here, and also comes with a kind of a nice little wheel locking, so you just kind of flip this switch, and basically there you go. So kind of a nice feature. All right, we'll do the weigh-in here real quick. And so I'm going to reset that scale and do a little bit of camera trickery on you here. I kind of have it flipped upside down to see it. But anyway, the generator doesn't have any gas in it. It just has oil in the battery. And as you can see, it's coming up as basically 100 pounds flat. So kind of getting some squats and lifts in here real quick. And we'll do this again. And I did this a couple times too, just before the video I shot, but so I think that's good enough. But 100 pounds flat roughly, and when it's ready to use, you just got to add your gas. So anyway, we'll get out to the testing part of this, and I don't like that wheel cog there, so because it constantly rattles. So I put a little rag in there to get rid of it because it was so noisy. But we'll start our sound check 23 feet away, and we're going to start with the eco off. So we'll let this run just a little bit, kind of let it average out. I have it on the slow position currently, that way the meter doesn't bounce around so much, but so you can kind of tell it's running right about 62 dBs. So we'll go back over here and turn it into the eco position. And one thing with this generator I noticed in both positions, off and on, the idle is set quite a bit lower than some of the other generators I've played with. And then we'll take another look at some focus there. And as you can see right there, we're pretty much running, let this thing average out, about 60 dBs. So you can kind of tell that it's pretty quiet. I mean, this generator is one of the main popular reasons for it being so popular is because it's quiet. And somebody was also asking, how come you always have the exhaust facing you? I was like, well, that's the loudest part. It's only going to be quieter from there. But I turned it and kind of see how much quieter it is if I do. I couldn't put it up against a wall because it would just pretty much reflect the sound. So, but that drops it a full another dB, and it is noticeably quieter when you do turn it. So. And just for reference sake, that's kind of like the little brother, the 2,000 watt Predator, and I do have it on eco mode as well. So I figured just for reference, we'll throw it out there, let it kind of run, and because I'm feeling pretty generous, I'll keep the number under 60 dB, and we'll throw it at 59.7. So hey, how about that? Anyway, so both good generators, they do the job. So this is what our test setup looks like. I have this plugged into my 30 amp service trailer. That wheel, I don't know, just rattles a lot. You can see my meter there. This guy's kind of set up and running already, but so anyway, we should reset everything, and the only thing that's on in the trailer is my converter, and that's basically what charges your battery and runs all your DC circuit stuff. So, and we're going to kind of play with the numbers here in a little bit, and you can see that the amps and the volts, you can see the volts on the generator there at 124 pretty much matching up, and the amps are just slightly different, but we'll come back and play with that in a little bit. And then you have volt amperes right there, which that's basically just another way to tell your wattage. So, and I think looking at my meter here, Actually, it looks like the generator might actually be a little bit closer, but we'll go inside, go turn on a bunch of stuff, throw some loads on this thing, and kind of go from there. So I turned on a bunch of lights to get the converter to really kind of jump up in power, so it's basically doing about 3 amps, and we're going to turn on the refrigerator. You'll see the meter kind of start bumping up there. Now that basically puts it on AC versus running it on propane. And now we'll bump up this heater because everybody's cold, so turn that on. So that's basically on low. And we'll go to medium real quick, and you can see the load start to come up on the meter. And one more switch right there, and let that kind of equal out a little bit. So now we have the converter on, this 1500 watt heater, and we just have the refrigerator running on AC. So we'll come out here, we'll do a little bit of playing around to see which one is kind of, you know, we have 121 volts showing on both meters and 16.3. So the meter is showing about 1976 watts ish. And then we look at the Harbor Freight, it's pretty much right on the money. So my stupid meter here, maybe I'll build another. Yeah. All right, well, let's go back inside, throw some more stuff on. So I threw on the microwave real quick. I'm going to add a little more time there, and that basically throws on another 10 amps. So we're going to try to get this video going just to, you know, see, that way it's not 20 minutes long. But so now you see the generator is really working. I turned on the AC fan. The AC is not on, it's just a fan on low, and that's basically a couple amps right there. So we're right at almost 30 amps, and this thing is still holding strong. We'll do another check on our numbers, and 116 volts and 29.4 amps. That's pretty crazy because this thing is rated at 25 amps. And normally these generators will shut down about 3 amps above rated, but this one's still going. It's doing pretty well. So look at that, about 3410. It's that's pretty good. So yeah, meters not quite what I expected. Odd. Anyway, so let's switch some things around here, see if we can get this generator to shut off, because it's still running. And I actually did a couple other tests too when I wasn't doing the video, and the generator just kind of keeps going. It'll stay there with that light flashing for a long time, but once it goes solid, then it kind of changes up. So we'll go over here to this little heater guy here. This is actually a great little heater. It's 350 watts, about 3 amps. I'll throw a little link up there so you guys can take a look. And if you guys do like this video, make sure to subscribe right down there. I have a whole bunch more generator comparisons coming out too, so you know, that way you guys don't miss anything. All right, so let's kind of do a little bit more playing with the numbers on that generator here. So take another look, kind of running the same stuff, and 3300 watts on the meter. And if we take a look at the Harbor Freight meter, it's 3340 watts as well. So it's still running. I mean, I haven't shut this thing down the whole time during this part of this video making. So we're going to switch things up now, and we're going to turn the fan on high, and this is going to draw about 3 amps. So we just had the heater going before, so now we have the big heater, the microwave is going, now we have the high-speed fan, we have the little heater over there going. You see the light solid now, and still running. That's amazing. Look at 31 amps basically. That's a lot of power for this generator, considering it's rated at 25. And there it goes, shuts off. So a max of almost 36. That's basically where our starting is. So we're gonna go out here and turn this thing off, and we'll reset it, and then we'll do one more test just to kind of show you guys what it's like to run AC and a couple other different features. So right now we're just turning on the AC, and only the converter is now on. The fridge and everything else is off. We're completely starting over. So we'll turn this AC unit on. You'll hear the fan kick on here in just a second, and then after the fan kicks on, it'll be about another 15 seconds or so until the actual compressor kicks in and gets going with that. And you'll see that in the generator. Watch the voltage drop here in a minute. That should be coming on any second. And look at that. Look at the voltage drop real quick. So kind of interesting just for perspective. But so anyway, now we have the converter running, which is still charging the batteries, and the fan is on low on the AC, but the AC is going, and we basically just have the AC and the converter. So that shows you how much power a 30 amp trailer uses with just the AC unit and a converter, which a lot of people tend to forget that whenever you plug in your generator, that guy's going to kind of kick on and start, you know, running. And little meter that I put in, I'll put a link up there if you guys want to see how that guy works. I was playing with it. It looks like I need to reset it. So we'll also turn on the fridge, because since the generator is going to run the AC for a few hours because it's hot, we'll throw that on too and save a little propane. And so now you can see that just the AC, the refrigerator on AC power as well, and the converter, we're burning about almost 16 amps. So you can see that, you know, just if you needed these type of features, you wouldn't necessarily need to get this big of a generator. You could get probably a smaller one, 2 small ones. They have 2500 watt options out there you can still carry that are not so heavy, because this thing is heavy at 100 pounds. So anyway, that kind of concludes the test.